Chilla Jones. I battle. Y'all know what the fuck I do, man. Out in LA, have a pretty big matchup against a character.
So let's start talking about the matchup. This is one of the biggest matchups of your career. Your last three opponents have been big names, and you've kind of almost like snuck in there. You replaced T-Top for Math Hoffa as an opponent, and now with the cancellation of Carter Deems and Head Ice, this popped up, kind of right place at the right time. Does that take away anything from these matchups, the fact that you're getting these big name matchups?
Nah, I mean, I don't think it takes away anything as long as I, make the best of it. You know what I mean? And with me and Math, I think initially people were like, this is a huge style clash. Who wants to see a bully versus a nerd? Like, I heard all types of shit going into the battle. And much to everyone's surprise, is one of the best battles of this year so far. You know what I'm saying? So I think taking these opportunities and knocking them out of the park, it's hard for anybody to kind of take anything away from me credit-wise.
Now, I watched the Math Hoffa battle back this morning, and we had a review on the site that gave you the battle 2-1. I think it was, as you mentioned, it was a style clash in that your writing is very strong and very direct. The lines about you should have taken a note out of Bonnie's book and Ducked my verse. That's great direct wordplay writing. But it felt like Math kind of spent a lot of the time addressing the bigger issues that were at play with his return, obviously with the T-Top battle falling through for what he said reasons that involved URL staff members, and then also just addressing the whole Dizaster stuff. So it's almost like, do you think that battle would have been tougher for you if he had spent all 3 rounds directing his content at you specifically?
It's hard to say, man. Like my opinion on it, I feel like he lost the third round because I feel like he wasn't direct enough, because he spent a lot of that time talking about Dizaster and everything else. But there are also a lot of people who think that was the best round of the battle and who appreciated hearing that from Math as Math fans. You know what I mean? So while my own personal opinion is that it should have been more direct, I think it came with a gift and a curse in that respect. I think for my own self, I think he would have been more of a challenge had the third round had been more direct, for me personally. But I don't know if there was, maybe he didn't know what to write about. Maybe he didn't know how to approach me. I've had people tell me that I'm very difficult to write for, you know what I mean? So maybe that was an out for him, you know what I mean? But, I did kind of expect that going into the battle anyway. I expected him to address that. He has. I just didn't expect him to spend so much time on it.
Yeah. Because Math and Diz have a lot of the same strengths in that they have very strong charisma, very strong presence, great energy, and also very defined characters, both in the ring and kind of beyond the world. Everyone in the world of battle rap knows those people, it feels like. So what is your take on Dizaster, I guess, as an opponent?
He's definitely formidable, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely somebody who I feel like a lot of my strengths are his weaknesses and vice versa. His strengths are kind of my weaknesses. I think the battle being in a smaller area benefits me more so than him, because I feel like his presence can be so commanding that it would be easier for him with his projection, with his charisma, to control a larger crowd than me. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that the battle is in a room with 200, 250 people, I think that helps me. I think that benefits me. However, the match being on 8 days prep, his ability to freestyle and rebuttal can be the deciding factor. You know what I'm saying? And I know this going into it. So I may try my hand at some things to try and keep that from being the deciding factor. But he's definitely a worthy opponent, you know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of my personal feelings about him, regardless of even how I feel about him as a battler.
What are your personal feelings about him, then?
he's just a fucking character, man. Like he just, I feel like there are certain people in battle rap who just say shit in the moment because it sounds cool. You know what I'm saying? Like he sat on this camera and said, I had this wild dream and I had these crazy bars for Cassidy, and I woke up and I started writing and I really outwrote Eminem. And then he gets in the battle and lays a fucking egg. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think Diz says a lot of shit that sounds cool, you know what I'm saying, that maybe is what people want to hear. And then you watch him battle and it's like, oh, okay. It's the same Dizaster we saw the 79 battles before, you know what I mean? So, which is great. It's great to sell tickets, but...
Why do people hate Dizaster so much?
I mean, he's polarizing. Like you either love him or hate him because he takes such a stance on everything. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm right in the middle. Like, I don't like his style. I don't think his style stands up against the best battle rappers in the world, but I can appreciate what he does and the difficulty of what he does enough to respect him. Diz, I feel like, doesn't have that ability. Like, it's either, no, he sucks because he does this or that, or it's, no, he's awesome because he does this or that. He doesn't know how to, like, he doesn't have enough perspective on shit, you know what I'm saying, to be able to appreciate people for what they do, whether or not he likes them personally as a person. He lets that affect his opinions way too much. And he's fucking emotional. Like, he's too emotional. On Twitter, in everything. You can see it in his battles, you can see it over everything he does. He's fucking emotional, like a female. This shit sucks. Like, you're a fucking man, grow some nuts, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that seems to be his downfall in a lot of his battles recently, is that his opponent gets under his skin and he melts down. And obviously that was a huge factor in the Arcane battle.
Right.
You know, he lost his cool at the end of the Math battle, obviously.
Right. The
and
DNA battle, he freestyled in the crowd and lost his fucking place versus Cassidy, same shit. It happens all the time with him. It's the same fucking story.
So are you going to try and get under his skin?
I don't think I'll have to. I feel like Diz is somebody who gets under his own skin. Like, he himself decides to attack people in the crowd for talking and then fucks up his place and blames the people in the crowd. We all deal with hecklers, Chris, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have people who talk shit during our rounds. I had Diz talk during my rounds versus Daylight. It didn't do anything to me. We still made one of the best battles of 2014, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have poise, he doesn't have composure, you know what I'm saying? He's battling at home, so I feel like he's making his return to King of the Dot. He's battling in LA. The crowd should love him. The crowd should want him to win. Live, he should win this battle. Will he? I don't know.
Tune in on Saturday and we'll find out.
Tune in on Saturday.
And talk a little bit about your personal relationship with him outside of the ring. Obviously, when he was talking about it, he said that, oh, it wasn't a big deal, but he also said that, you know, you and him have gone back and forth on Twitter. And then also, as you just mentioned, that he was kind of heckling you in the Daylight battle. You know, is there any kind of personal rivalry there?
I wouldn't say it's a rivalry. There's definitely tension. And it's definitely not anything to the level of what him and Math have. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to even go that far. But I've always felt tension from him, you know, in general, you know what I mean? And I remember at Gnome 3, when he made his URL debut against T-Rex and I battled DNA, you know, I had got off stage, I had saw him backstage, I had said what up to him, I was real friendly, real cordial. And I was like, did you get a chance to see the battle? It's like, no, I didn't get a chance to see it. I was back here going over my shit, but it sounded like you did well. And then a week later, there's an interview on Vlad TV that says, I saw the battle, DNA made Chilla look like an ant. So at that point, I'm like, okay. I don't know which one of those two things is a lie, but I don't like people who lie. So that already kind of set me on a bad path with him. when I saw him after the Daylight battle, I remember we had words on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And even as an interview I did prior to the battle where I kind of spoke on our back and forth on Twitter. The confrontation he described in this interview with you a couple of days ago, it's fucking hilarious. So I see him after the battle. I walk to the front door. I'm walking back into the main room and he's coming out, so we catch eyes, so we approach each other. And he's like, yo, he's like, regardless of the shit that happened between us online, I have to give you your respect. That was a fucking crazy battle with Daylight. And I said, I appreciate that, bro. And we shook hands and we I thought we had you know what I'm saying, washed everything. You know what I mean? Now he sits here and says, oh, I fucking saw him. It was like, I could fucking smack you around. Look where we are. We're in LA. I don't give a fuck where we are. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Why do I care whether we're in LA or we're in New York or we're in Boston? Like, if I have a problem with you, then I have a problem with you. I don't worry about who you're with. I don't care about none of that other shit. Like, and to me, it wasn't even a problem to even escalate to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was corny as fuck for him to sit here and say that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, he's a character. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
One more question. So Diz and Daylight have had a friendship for a long time. It feels like since the Math Hoffa situation, they had the highly publicized kind of fight that happened. And it feels like they kind of fuck with each other less these days. You're in the same crew with Daylight. Is Daylight going to be in your corner for this battle?
I don't know. Hard to say. I think it would be wise of Daylight not to be in either corner. But I will say that I probably don't know Daylight to a level that Diz does. So I wouldn't be surprised if he were in Diz's corner, but I wouldn't take that any type of way. I think if he was in my corner and Dizaster saw it, because like I said, he's emotional, he would probably feel some type of way. Me, not so much. I came in a fucking battle, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I have noticed that, and I definitely don't think they're as close as they used to be. And even in the interview you guys did, he seemed to be anti-Daylight, which I was a little bit surprised about. But I mean, I don't know whose corner Daylight will be in, man. I don't even know what Daylight has planned for tomorrow. Like, when Daylight's on the car, you just never fucking know. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see, man. You know, tomorrow will tell the tale. We'll see how tomorrow goes, man. I agreed to. I'll say this real quick. I agreed to 2 rounds, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Not 2 rounds and 5 minutes. That's all I'm gonna say. I will be on the phone with J Pro to try and get this ironed out, but you know, it is what it is, but I'm ready to rock.
All right, stay tuned, pay-per-view tomorrow.